Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
It's showtime! Yay. Anyway, this is a comic book show where we take books in the past week, we talk about them, and then we recommend books that are coming out this week that we think you should check out.
Yeah, these are the things that we do.
That's right. A lot of books. Of course, the show is sponsored by viewers like you. You watching the show live. You can sponsor today's show by using Super Chats. Ask a question or comment we're going to hear on the show and be part of it forever.
Heck yeah.
That's right. Little bit of housekeeping, I guess. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on when these shows do go live on Mondays, anywhere between 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For Off the Rack, Elseworlds Exchange, we just dropped an episode just this past Friday when I had no voice. My voice is coming back, slowly but surely, as you can tell. It's a little bit back. It's mostly back. To the untrained ear, it's back. But to the person whose voice is gone, it's not all the way back.
And the person sitting next to him, jeez.
That's true. That's true. A lot of books came out this week.
Did
and
they?
I'm excited to talk about them.
I don't know.
No,
they did.
But we are going to talk about them.
This was a heavy week.
It was a heavy week, but a good week. It was a good week for it to be heavy because the heaviness was, made of good stuff. It's like Death by Snoo Snoo. It's like, can't argue with that.
Not going to say no to that.
That's right. The spirit is weak, but the flesh is spongy and bruised.
Great. Hey, did you ever read that random comic that we saw attached to that QR code?
Nope.
So when we were on our way down to Baltimore Comic-Con, we stopped at like a convenience store, and they had, I think it was Hershey's or Reese's. I don't know. But they had a display there, and it was Justice League themed, and they had a QR code, and I was like, "What's this?" And I scanned it, and it's a comic with like art by Dan Mora, written for this, and you got to like scan all the codes or something in order to get the rest of the comic. And I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah,
I hadn't heard anything about that, and I wonder how many kids or people did it.
Right.
I was like, "Oh, neat!" Like,
yeah,
and you got like a real like. They're all real artists, but like you got an artist who's working currently on something to do it. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I don't understand.
So
good for them.
Yeah.
If we didn't read it.
No, I have actually still open in a tab.
Oh, good.
I'll never read it.
Well,
no, I might.
Maybe we will. Anything else going on? Oh, New York Comic Con is coming up. It's going to be another couple of weeks, I think. And by a couple of weeks, I mean like literally a week or two. It's the 8th, I think, of October.
It is not.
No,
it's the weekend of the 13th.
13th.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's Friday the 13th. I believe it's the 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Yeah, you're right. 12th to the 15th.
Well, cheers.
We are going to be there. We ultimately did get press approval.
Thank you.
Took a couple tries somehow.
We're appreciative of that.
We do appreciate it, and so we'll be there. When we are there, we're going to set up a meet and greet. Obviously, you'll see the community tab on our main channel, youtube.com/ComicPop, and you'll know what's going on. When we're doing that.
I was just like, hey, to all those in traffic right now.
Yeah, sorry.
But like, we're happy to be with you.
But yeah. So we're gonna do that, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's it. I felt like we had more, but we don't. So let's jump into some books. I read Nightwing number 106. Nightwing's fine. It continues to be its own thing.
What a good cover.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
Love this cover. I really do. I really like this a lot.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it looks like art with a sticker on it.
Right.
Like I dig this so much.
Yeah.
Like, just the pop of color and him literally looking like just like someone was like, eh.
I know. Nightwing covers they're at the top of their game. Really? Nightwing and Detective Comics are some of the best covers.
Yes. Now, do you feel like is this
indicative? It's interpretive. It's about the passing of the harbor master or the freight master. I don't remember what the hell the guy.
That was not what I was going to ask.
New character.
Question.
But do you think it's what?
Do you think it's this book's being like hurt right now by it not being a Taylor Redondo collaboration any longer?
Nah. Okay. I mean, I think that like you're basically just waiting for Redondo to return, but there's nothing inherently wrong with the art.
Okay.
Nor is it detracting or incongruous with what you've come to expect from this series.
Okay.
The series in particular, it's a standard of excellence that like Taylor set and Redondo enforced, and Taylor's continuing its excellence. It is a companion piece to the Titans book in terms of, they're both in the same setting. They more or less feature the same characters. This one, of course, focuses more directly on Dick Grayson and his cast of characters. But yeah, it's a good looking book, and it's a well executed book. It's a new arc, so if you want to start out now, you can. Dick Grayson, they set up a thing about a safety about like they retconned an idea that like Rick Grayson, his previous identity, received a sensitive package that pertained to his true identity that he put away, and so our main character Dick is trying to recover that item that his previous self put away for him. But we're not done with the like former identity of Rick Grayson. I think that Taylor is just playing with the idea of like nobody liked Rick Grayson, then I'm going to make it interesting. And that's kind of fun.
Okay.
I hated Rick, but I didn't like hate Rick because I didn't like Rick. I just thought like the concept was like genuinely repugnant.
Okay.
Because it was editorially driven and it's reductive.
That's not a horrible idea for him to tackle that.
Well, I got no problem with it.
It's like, hey, it's a challenge, and also no one will be mad at me.
Right, and no one will ape off it. It's not like someone's like, man, I wanted to do the Rick Grayson retcon. No, trust me, you're fine. Recommend it. The art and writing have a nice marriage together, and the story is a compelling, good start. Although, if you aren't reading Nightwing, you might be like, what's going on right now? So check that out if you're of a mind. How about you?
I read Saga number 66 this week. We're not gonna really go into depth. It's just written by Brian K. Vaughan with art by Fiona Staples. Yeah, like I feel like literally after, and like maybe this might just be me because I'm trying really hard not to meta read anything because I can't. I have nothing to meta. The only meta I'm bringing into it is that I went to that Brian K. Vaughan panel thing, and he's talking about like death within his books, and that like certain characters that Fiona has asked like, oh, please don't hurt them, right?
Yes.
Like, and like so like at this point now, like I just feel like Brian is just playing around with what might come, like who might die next.
Yeah.
And and I'm not giving anything away or not giving anything. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, every time I read this book, I'm in that mindset of like, is someone gonna die in this issue? I'm just tense.
Naturally.
It's still a great book. It's just an excellent book. And those who like are trade waiters, the fact is like you have a really great experience because you're not waiting those like in between. Some of you never even waited the years. Some of you just recently maybe got into it.
Yeah.
But it's still excellent and still proving that Brian remembers the like things that he's left behind and we'll go back and get them, and then you go like, oh yeah, like and that's me lately with this book. I'm just like, oh my god, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's excellent. Excellent.
Good. Well, I caught up with Ninja Turtles Stranger Things.
Hey.
I like this series. Cameron Shattuck, Pharaoh Paniche.
When is this supposed to be set for them? Like, I noticed that Elle's got her like season 2 outfit.
Yeah, I want to say it's between 2 and 3.
Okay, and
or at least between 3 and 4.
Tiny-ish.
Like the yeah.
Like, they look more like
they're not high school. It's pre-edity.
Okay.
Yeah. This is obviously Stranger Things kids teaming up with the Ninja Turtles. They go on a field trip to New York. Papa teamed up with Baxter Stockman, or rather that they were contemporaries. And when like the Upside Down started bleeding into New York City, Stockman took advantage and used the Demogorgons to like inspire him to make Demomousers or whatever you want to call them. And
sure,
became a whole thing. Stockman was interested in the Upside Down and telepathy and telekinesis and Elle, so lured her, strapped her to a wall, tries to get her to open up a portal to the Upside Down.
Sure,
there already is one.
Okay.
There is it's attached to like the subway.
Okay.
So a subway car is just driving into the Upside Down and coming out of the Upside Down, and just pulling Demogorgons and monsters like from the Upside Down into the real world. But of course, no Ninja Turtle story would be complete if you're going to deal with like big slimy monsters from Stranger Things. The Ultrams come into play, the Krangs, if you will.
Oh, okay.
So there's an implication of that. For the most part, this issue in particular was a lot of like, well, I'm blending the two together though because I caught up. I read issues 2 and 3 together.
That's okay.
A lot of talking, a lot of like standing in a lab, yelling at each other or talking to each other.
Well, that's par for the course when you have a, you know, oh, we've just met and now we're going to team up kind of thing.
Yeah, but there is a nice blend because, of course, we split the party. So 2 turtles are with the lab crew. 2 turtles are in the Upside Down. So we get to see, I think it's Leo and Mikey deal with the Upside Down, whereas Stockman and or Donnie and Raph are rescuing Elle from the clutches of Stockman. Can't believe I'm saying that. Like, I was reading it and I'm like, this is really fun, and I can't believe how well it's working.
Yeah.
And how, like, everyone's the voices are captured well. Do the kids have much to do? No. Like, does Will feel uncomfortable about going into the Upside Down? Yeah, you know, like in everything he's in, you know. But there's nothing.
But hopefully, if he's got Mikey with him, I mean, I feel like Mikey and Dustin probably hit it off pretty well.
Dustin's not with them. Dustin's with Donatello and Raphael.
That works too, though. He went
Exactly.
to science camp.
Exactly.
Went to science camp.
Right?
Totally works.
But it's fun. The art's really great. It really does like blend the worlds together. But really, you want to see Peniche on a Turtles book, and this is a Turtles book. And what's great is because it's a crossover, you're really hitting all the highlights. So, you know, instead of them being directed to do some kind of, like, I don't know, Turtles in space or Turtles, you know, on an island, it's Turtles dealing with Mousers and Stockman and monsters, and, you know, being in New York City and dealing with, like, subway cars and stuff like that. So it's a lot of really fun stuff. It's a crossover I would never have expected that I really enjoy. Well done, IDW and Dark Horse. Nice job. I'm enjoying this so far. I don't recall how many issues there are left, but I would like there to be more. I think we're only getting the one more.
So this is the penultimate.
It's the penultimate issue.
It's a great time for you to catch up.
That's true. That's true. So check that out if you haven't already.
Excellent. I read XMen Dark this week.
Yeah.
Number 2. And that is written by, hang on, I've got it right here for one time, Steve Fox, with art by Jonas Scharf.
Yes.
Listen, like, this is one of those books where it's like, if you like this team, read this book.
Right.
Like, that's you know what I mean? Like, in terms of like Fall of X books, I'm sure something's going to come into play here. But if you want to read about Madeline Pryor and Havoc and Gambit working together in a, like,
is that Maggot?
I believe so. Sorry.
Oh, no, it is. That's a rhetorical question. Yes. I was like,
members of, also it's her butt. Members of X-Men Dark are Madeline Pryor, Havoc, Gimmick, who was from Children of the Atom. And played Azazel, or Azazel.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to say. Gambit, Archangel, but not anymore. Maggot, Zero, and Albert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, if you enjoyed the Secret Wars about Madeline Pryor, the Inferno book.
Yeah, remember that from 2015?
I never read it because that was not assigned to me, but I actually picked it up recently and I haven't had a chance to check it out just yet, but I have it now in my possession. That Madeline Pryor is back.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. She was at the end of the last issue and she plays a major role in this in terms of like what Orcus is up to and what their future plans are. So, you know, Maddie had an opportunity recently, having come back at, Havoc's behest and other things, to deal with Jean and her desire for her memories for her son. And it'll be interesting to have her face this iteration of her. We get a little more like, hey, maybe you don't know much about her. Here's a little information about her as to like what her background is, this other version. So I'm looking forward to seeing that meetup to see how much our Maddie has grown.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'm enjoying this, but it was like with Hellions. Like, if you weren't interested in the team, it was a great book, but maybe you weren't interested in the team, so it wasn't really going to do anything for you, right? So check out this book if you do like these characters. They're a lot more dysfunctional. Havoc even mentions the fact that most of the teams he's on start like this pretty dysfunctional. And I was like, yes, all right, we are definitely acknowledging the Hellions feel of it, but it's not quite the same writing, and it's not quite the same humor like baked into it, but it makes sense because you don't have a character like Mr. Sinister there.
Right.
So they're doing a lot of interesting things. We're bringing Callisto in potentially, at least she was like a MacGuffin in this issue.
Yeah.
And we get a really fun last page reveal of a change to a character in a way.
Ooh.
Like, not like necessarily a permanent thing, but like for this arc, like, oh no, what's gonna happen?
Oh no.
So I enjoyed it thoroughly, but I'm not saying right now this is required reading for Fall of X, but it is required reading if you like this type of thing.
Okay. Well, Ray Farr in the super chats
Sure.
said, been busy with school, but I've caught up on the back issues, and these last few episodes have been great. Well, thank you very much, Ray. Thank you for all the great content. Thoughts on Ed Brubaker's Cap run with Bucky Cap? I liked it well enough. I love Brubaker's Cap. I thought it was great. It was a little slow starting for me. I thought it was a little like droll, but I jumped in on Captain America Reborn, which I enjoyed thoroughly. And so it caused me to go back and read more, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not really thrilled. I'm not set on Bucky Cap, and I don't think anybody but Brubaker has really done them justice. But you know, it's good. It's admittedly good. Cat Lawyer, have they said why there are so many Logan clones?
Do you mean just in general? Or?
I mean, Logan sells. Wolverine sells.
Well, I meant like for right now, it's because Beast made them.
Yeah.
Because
right, but why did he make them?
Because Wolverine's super efficient, and he initially had utilized a device essentially to make him like that primal version of Wolverine, so he would just do what he told him to do.
Right.
But eventually Wolverine heals and evolves and couldn't help himself. Like, but that's where they all came from. If that's what you're referring to, then that's because Beast.
Yes.
Real Beast made them all in order to like have his one-man war on like Orcus and humans.
Yeah. Philip Croyce, thoughts on the last season of Harley Quinn? Didn't watch it. Haven't watched the last few. And there you go. Girk Pectus, Loki number 4 was fun and had a great fight. Loki versus Bullseye. Good for him. Darrow Kelly Barry, are there any chances of seeing you at Dublin Comic-Con? No. But
that means I'm also not. That's like that. You just said that like you're like. Also, there's no chance we're ever going to Ireland.
Maybe we'll go, but like not this year.
Okay.
John Kata, no question today. Well, thank you very much, John.
Well, thank you anyway.
Just a thank you for all the work, and please shout out both Ben and Ethan, if for nothing else than their incredulous reactions to some of the absolute craziness in comics.
That's fair.
I'll be sure to pass along the message. Thank you very much, John, for your support. And Lautaro Medina, I know the book is stacked in the creator side, but do you think Ultimate Spider-Man could ever get as popular as it once was? No, but with like an asterisk, I feel like Ultimate Spider-Man, obviously, I think we talked about this last episode. Ultimate Spider-Man and JMS as Spider-Man would like jockey for the top slot, the top Spider-Man book. I don't think those days are ever going to happen again, but if anyone's going to do it, it's Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man with Marco Cicchetto on art. Yup. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to read it, and I just hope enough people do. I saw some like really cockamamie reactions to it, you know? And I guess that's just the case. You know, when you're like, hey, free ice cream. Yeah. And there's always going to be some asshole who's going to be like, I'm lactose intolerant. Like, cool. That means it doesn't apply to you. That's like every day. You know, there's something for everybody. Jackass. So there was like this big announcement. And I don't know what Marvel's thing was. Marvel was like feeling themselves a couple of days ago when they were just like, here's all the announcements from New York Comic Con. Boom, 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 boom. Let me overshadow myself with all of these announcements.
They definitely, I feel like what they're trying to do, and this feels like is a marketing meeting. They're like, let's try this initiative. Instead of just being like, we're going to announce all this stuff at New York Comic Con, it's more or less like, you want answers? That's where you're going to get them.
Right. These are the things that are going to be announced. But if you want deets, come to /read Bleeding Cool on New York Comic Con.
I feel like it's like a hype list where they're just like, listen, now go find out what it is. Now, what reality is going to happen is everyone's just going to wait for the news outlets to go there.
Yeah, it's like not watching the Oscars. I'll go to IMDb and just wait for the announcement. It'll be updated literally within the second.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I am excited. It's gonna. I'm excited, and I hope enough people are.
I am too. Well, for me, like, you know, that bookended Hoxpox style thing was very exciting to me. I know not everybody was like on board for some of the writers, but I was like, nah, they're okay.
Meh.
They got this.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of JMS, I did read Captain America #1 from J. Michael Straczynski, creator of Babylon 5, with art by Jesus Saiz from the Punisher series, the most recent Punisher series. This is essentially just like, here's a refreshed Captain America book. JMS had a pitch. Here you go. And so if you like JMS's writing, which some of us do very much, I think it's great. You know, JMS, actually, it's funny. He wrote one of the most iconic Captain America speeches that was stolen and put into Captain America Civil War in a Spider-Man book. And so I imagine this is like just coming home. It's Kismet. It works
Right.
perfectly. Captain America, JMS, I'm on board. It's a dual story. We see the past, we see the present.
Yes.
What Cap was like after he lost his parents, but before he became the super soldier.
Okay.
Like, what did he do? How did he live? You know, and we see it's a poignant and contemporary book, unfortunately, because we're dealing with Nazism in America, and that's what Cap's dealing with.
Yeah, of course.
The idea that like there is a like prolific Nazi party movement in America, and young Steve Rogers pre-super soldier serum is like, what am I going to do about this? And I'm like, love it. No notes, perfect pitch.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we also have Cap, who I don't know what this whole like trend is, but Cap buys the building he lives in because he's worried that the tenants are going to get kicked out. So Cap's a landlord now. And I'm like, all right. If it wasn't in if it wasn't in the best Hawkeye book as a plot point, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm like, what are you doing? Because you're doing that again? Like, just with Cap?
Right.
Now, Jameis didn't write that, and I'm sure the Cap will be a very different landlord to Hawkeye. You might even say that Hawkeye is an absentee landlord. But it's good. It's a great book. The art's fun. It works. It's a great book. It fills me with like pride, but it doesn't fill me with joy the way that the like Wade Somney Captain America book did. Like I haven't picked up a Captain America book like Wade and Somney's ever.
Okay.
But this is good, and I'm going to keep reading it. Keep it up.
All right.
What else you got?
What should we talk about? I read just really quickly. I read Hexagon Bridge. It's an image book. This is number 1 by Richard Blake.
Yeah, I think I saw that over your shoulder.
Did the writing and the art on this one.
What a great cover.
The cover's stunning.
I love it. It's like an old book.
Yep. The art is gorgeous.
Yep.
And the only thing that this book could really use is to not be individual issues. I think this would be a stronger entry as a trade.
It's a hardcover.
But I'm not saying don't pick it up if you're the kind of person who likes Hickman's work in terms of like decorum, like that style of book. You might like this, right? I think it's only going to be 5 issues as well.
Yeah.
So it's not a heavy lift if you want to get it issue to issue. It also would help to support a creator who they're just breaking into the industry.
Yeah.
They were part, I think, of like an image like creator, or I don't know if it was an image grant, but it was like a Creators for Creators grant or something, and his work came out of there, was selected for that.
Yeah.
It's just really, really fun, interesting idea. The art is very illustrative, and I believe Blake's background is that he went to RISD.
Oh, cool.
And so like his a BFA, that kind of thing. And not that that matters, but I'm just saying like that's where this artist is coming from. And
from
so
a fine arts background.
Yeah, you're gonna get art that's like that. A lot of like great panel work, but like a lot of like beautiful, like, setting images, like here we're in this location, we're here, right? And the art's just really lovely. It's just really, really lovely. It really, really sets a tone. And like I truly believe that this was written as a comic, but I could easily see this as something else. Like I so could easily see this put someplace else. Some of the writing maybe could use like a little bit of like a push, but listen, I as like a first entry, I was like 10 out of 10. I can't. I absolutely am looking forward to reading the rest of this. This is one of those things that the cover is what got me to purchase it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
The pitch is that it's the future. Like I think it's the year 4044.
Okay, wow.
And like we found some sort of like doorway essentially to a strange parallel dimension. They call it the bridge. They sent 2 cartographers over there, and then like X-Men of time, like not but a bit later, they lost contact.
Oh.
And like their daughter has like psychic abilities and still can like see visions of what's happening to her parents.
Oh shit. Okay.
And there's some sort of like there's AIs involved with this. It definitely drops you into like the here's my world building, but I don't feel lost.
Good.
Like I don't feel like I'm drowning. I'm just kind of like cool.
Yeah, you're just waiting in it.
Yeah, I am waiting in it, and I'm just like, and I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen next. But like I said, like the end of this, I was like, I really wish this was all just one thing.
Yeah.
For sure. And I don't think it hurts it. I just was like, I could use this as an image graphic novel, an image, like original graphic novel. I don't know, like how, like I don't know if that would hurt them or what, but the book is too beautiful. I really would like to get this in physical. It's just it's stunning looking art. And like I said, like if you like that kind of storytelling, kind of like similar-ish like world building to like a Hickman, you might want to check this book out, and you might want to check this this creator out.
What's the name of the book again?
It's hang on.
Let's get it out there again.
Hexagon Bridge by Richard Blake.
Check it out. So I read Batman Superman World's Finest number 19, as I do every month or bi-month. This of course features Batman and Superman teaming up to fight each other's villains. Riddler has been manipulated into sending Batman and Superman on a wild goose chase because, of course, like no one knows how to tell a Riddler story. That being said, Riddler is used to fine effect, if not like main character effect. But the real the reason to read this is, of course, to watch Jax Ur and Superman fighting, which is cute. It's also, of course, set in the past, but further in the past, I think. I don't know. It's interesting because like for the last 17 issues, we've been watching very much like Batman and Superman as they were friends early in their careers, but not the most early in their careers.
Okay.
But this has been very early where they don't really know each other. You know, they don't trust each other yet. And but they are cordial and they are collegiate with each other. So we see them like recognize each other's strengths and weaknesses. Shenanigans of the Phantom Zone involving Alfred and several members of people are shoved into this Phantom Zone. Batman finds himself there as well. You know, and just watching Jax and Cal fight and do their thing while dealing with the Phantom Zone is fun. But it also is an opportunity for Wade to introduce yet another new evil villain, Aether the Messiah.
Who happens to be shrouded in a cloak so they can be revealed to be someone else, potentially.
Of course. It's probably Magog, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. It's a fun series. Travis Moore is on art in this time around, as opposed to Dan Mora. I do miss Dan Mora because everyone should, but I think Travis Moore does a nice job. I think it's fine. It's fun. Very redondo in its styles.
Okay.
So if you like the weekly adventures of Batman and Superman, this is absolutely the book for you.
Okay.
If you secretly read Justice League just to see Batman and Superman interact, that's the book for you.
Sure.
Extifer, just a silly question to donate. I already have Grayson the Spy collections as trade paperbacks. Should I get the omnibus as well? I'm also considering getting the One Bad Day hardcover collection. Thoughts? Here's what you need to do. Number one, don't get an omnibus if you already have the collection. You don't need the omnibus unless you're looking to get rid of.
You're a collector.
If you collect the omnibuses, sure, but like
different.
But if that's the case, unload the trades. Like, don't keep 2 copies.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. I could understand someone having both. If you want to have a collection of omnibuses, you just want your shelf to look nice, you want that shelf porn, go for it because the trades are easier to read. So I completely understand that if you have the space for it and the funds for it.
Fair enough.
Totally get it, but go ahead.
And you don't waste your time and money with that hardcover. Only a couple of the issues have like special bonus art in them. And it's not worth it, I don't think. I never buy books for bonus art. I think that's like that's like interactive menus on a DVD case. But
dude, that's like shots fired in this.
Sorry,
because I definitely have.
Sometimes it's cool,
that
but
is a seller.
Most
for
of
me.
the time, it's an afterthought. That's my problem. Is like I don't believe them when they tell me there's bonus art.
Admittedly, I would say the big two struggle with that more so than independent books, who are just like, no, let's put it like you're buying this because you love this property,
oh yeah,
not because you love Batman.
No, but One Bad Day, the bonus art, I can tell you it's slim pickings and it's not worth it.
Okay.
What you should do is just go back to the back issues and grab the One Bad Day prestige bound original publishings because they're going to be cheaper. They're all done in one anyway. Like I have the Riddler One Bad Day graphic novel, right? The hardcover graphic novel. There is no difference between the one I bought when it came out and the hardcover, except that one is a hardcover.
Well, and again, I would say though that what you need to do is like, ask yourself what you're looking to get out of it. Like, are you looking to display these copies? Like, if you like that spine on the hardbound,
or if you're just looking to buy them,
yeah, it depends. Like, if you're doing it for an aesthetic choice, yeah, go for it. If you're doing it for like, you just think that you're going to get more out of it. I agree with Sam. Maybe check out the softbound.
Joe Fayant, for months I've been saying Marco on a new Ultimate Spider-Man would be great. I'm so excited. Ultimate is my favorite run of all time. Yeah, it's one of my favorites as well. I think Chichetto does a great job with Spider-Man, so I can't wait. If you want to see a preview, go check out Marvel 1000, I think. Chichetto and Hickman, Spider-Man 1000, it was one of them. There's like some just Google Hickman and Chichetto Spider-Man and you'll find it. But like there's like a 1 or 2 page story where they already teamed up. Sean D, wait, if you put Cap's speech in a Spider-Man book, shouldn't more people know it? Also hi in sound, Tiffany. Yeah, according to Marvel, if you that's what you do. If you need a character death to get more exposure, put it in a Spider-Man book. Obviously, that's how you do it. We were talking over 20 years ago, though. Dan Wesley, thanks for the super sticker. Sorry I couldn't see it, but Tiffany will pull it up later. And Hogshead, any Judge Dredd recommendations for the 2012 movie fans? There is actually a 2012 movie sequel, I think, or prequel comic book that exists. There is no sequel, but there is a prequel, I think, comic book you can read. As far as Judge Dredd is concerned, I'm not a huge Judge Dredd fan. I don't have like favorite runs. I'm only... he's a blind spot for me. I'm only like passively aware. But I would say anything with Judge Death in it sounds dope to me. Oh, you're welcome, Dan. Thank you very much for your adorable Sheba gif. He's great. And Last Starfighter. Hey, Comic Pop, I had my storage unit got broken into and they stole all my comics. Ugh. It's been so rough lately, but thank you for all you do. Comic Pop always makes my life a whole lot better. Well, thank you.
Who does that?
I've heard of that before. I may have seen your post on Reddit.
What a piece of shit. Like,
I know,
who does that?
There's a lot of people who like break into storage units now. It's like it's actually a problem because a lot of, boomers are retiring / dying. Millennials are inheriting all their crap. They don't want to throw it away, but they also don't want to keep it. So they're putting it in storage unit. A lot more storage units than ever before.
I'm just saying, like, that's like, I don't know. That's like breaking into someone's storage unit and like taking their photos.
Right.
Being like, ha ha ha, I took all of your memories.
Yeah, that sucks. What you should do, by the way, if you haven't already, contact all the local comic book stores in the area. Give them a list of what you have. Tell them like any distinguishing marks that might be available. They will call it in because they all have storage units. They all have comic books in them. They all don't want to have it happen to them, and they want to catch these people. So tell every comic book store within like a 10, 15 mile radius about where you what you had and what got stolen, so that they can report it. If anybody shows up that like never goes to their comic book store and goes, I got this, I don't know how much it's worth, but give me whatever you can get for it, they will report it. The other thing is contact your the security camera. Like go to your storage unit people and contact and just go like, hey, what did you have on security? Give that to the cops as well. And Christopher Seven, as someone who lives in Chile and dreams to go to a Comic-Con, how early should / can I buy tickets for the major events, San Diego and New York, or is there other events you'd recommend? You can buy those as early as like the day after the events are over for San Diego, certainly.
Well, not the actual con tickets.
No, but you should definitely get a hotel now for San Diego. But also just sign up for their email alerts or go to the website periodically. But definitely buy them like 6 months before the show starts. As far as other shows, I mean, those two are pretty great shows. I'd recommend, if you're going to do one over the other, San Diego. Go to San Diego. You'll have a great time. Be in town. You can stay a mile away and still have an amazing time and have an easy ride between your hotel and the con. You'll have an amazing time between that place and have a great meal experience. And even if you didn't have tickets, you could still enjoy like the atmosphere of the con without even going to the con.
But if you're going from like all the way from
Chile,
like definitely,
San Diego, you'll enjoy it. But you also
but I meant like get tickets.
Like get tickets.
For the show.
Yeah, get tickets for the show. But I'm just saying. But yeah, I read Titans 3. I also had to catch up on this one, so I read Titans 2. It was fine. They deal with like Brother Blood again, and the implication was that like Brother Blood his religion has been co-opted, and it's Scientology joke.
Okay.
There was the first issue is Wally West is assassinated, and then he goes back in time right before he dies to solve his own murder and basically rejoins the Titans.
Oh.
So they have like Wally's dead body in another room. So for 2 issues, they've been pretending they've been just not dealing with it. And they were like, and let's introduce Aqualad again. So Aqualad's drank the Kool-Aid as far as this new religion's concerned. The Titans get involved, shenanigans ensue. If you like the Titans, you'll enjoy it. If you don't, you're never going to read this book. Don't bother. If you don't care, the art's by Nicholas Scott. It's good. I think Scott does a nice job with the art for the story, but it's not engaging enough for me to care at all about the Titans. And it certainly doesn't feel like the replacement of the Justice League book. Incidentally, there is a moment either in the last issue or this issue where the Justice League stops the Baron or Brother Blood's like cult before the Titans do, and the Titans feel raw about it. It's a way of illustrating the difference between the two teams. Who cares? Just when every book is $6, I can't be bothered.
Fair. Okay.
All
right.
I know, right? I read Superman #6. This is, of course, Josh Williamson with art, this time by Gleb Melenkov, and the art is great, despite the fact that we have been singing the praises of Jamal Campbell, who continues to do the covers. This is still a fantastic looking book. Iconic Superman depicted by Melenkov. I really enjoy this book overall. If you were a Superman fan or if you were looking to become one, you should definitely be reading this series because it is a distillation of everything that you should like about Superman.
Is Melenkov going to take over for this arc, you think?
I assume.
And then like Campbell may take over again?
I know nothing about the logistics.
Okay.
All I can tell you is Melenkov does this one. And I think he also did the Night Terrors tie-in as well. So, but I think that worthy successor / equal to Campbell. Very different kind of styles, completely different styles, but both perfectly suited for Superman. This is a really fun series. It also introduces a new, what they call Doomsday level threat, I guess because enough 40-year-olds are working at DC, so everyone's a Doomsday level threat now. Got to use those cultural touchstones. But the Chained showed up. Williamson is very
Chained.
The Chained, yes. New villain fought Lex Luthor back when Lex Luthor had designs on being a superhero for Metropolis.
Okay.
Superman unwittingly frees him from his bondage, and the Chained reveals that he is like super powerful and is going to mess up Superman's day. I don't care for the Chained in terms of design. I think he's over designed. I think he's very like anime inspired.
The over designer?
No, he's not. No, the over designer looks like a sleeve tattoo that you screwed up. The Chained is just like, okay, it's a guy with long hair with chains.
Okay.
You know, it's like that Invincible scene when he teams up with Spider-Man, where he's like, okay, so let me guess, if Spider-Man's any indicator, it's Flag Man, Knife Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like, but but the tone and the characters are so pure and well depicted that even something that is like as suspiciously lame as the Chained could end up being cool.
Sure. Okay.
Still getting over that cold.
You got this.
But Superman 6, I enjoy it and I recommend it.
Excellent.
Let me check it out. What else you got, Tiffany?
I read the rest that I have are all the things you read.
Oh, okay, great.
So, like, well, not all of them. There's like the last three that you read. So pick one that you want to do.
Let's do Uncanny Spider-Man.
Let's do Uncanny Spider-Man.
Cy Spurrier, Lee Garbett.
Yeah.
Best looking Spider-Man suit this side of the decade.
Yeah. So what'd you think? Sorry.
It's good. It's good. I
think it wasn't what you were looking for, but
I
was
wasn't
like,
even like
this fits the bill for me.
Yeah. It is an X-Men book.
It is an X-Men
but
book.
I wasn't expecting it not to be. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like I like it a lot. I like the voice for Kurt. I like Kurt's mission. You know, Kurt's just like, I want to do good. I don't really want to be involved in Fall of X.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm gonna do a good. I feel like I'd be better at this. He calls up Spider-Man. Spider-Man gives him one of these suits, and I'm like, where have you been hiding this suit? Because it's awesome looking.
Yeah, this old suit.
Yeah, old from when? You liar.
Maybe it was like old. Like he's like, nah, this is a cool one.
You know what? We'll say it's from Big Time. I made a lot of suits. Who cares? But I love it. I think it's a great suit. I love Kurt as Spider-Man. As a fan from the 80s, I wanted to see Spider-Man and Nightcrawler team up so much. There's a perfect marriage of those two.
Yeah. I think for me, this really works because I've been following Kurt's journey for a while now.
This is a good continuation of it.
And I'm like, you know what? Like Kurt needs this.
Yeah.
Kurt's been through a lot and, you know, went from like high hope on like in terms of Krakoa to being like,
I'm not even involved.
All of you are liars and jerks.
Yep.
And I have to leave. Oh, and now I think everyone's dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, Kurt's just like, I just want to be someone else. I just want to be a hero And I think he's really like a part of it, I'm sure, is him saying like, yep, I have to hide who I am so that Sentinels don't come for me, because it's hard to be Kurt and not be like, oh, you're a mutant, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's also like he just wants that anonymity just in general.
Yeah, he just wants to like be effective and not have to hear about it.
Yeah,
which I love.
And so like I think that size like going to be getting a little bit more into like Kurt and in terms of just what he's gone through as of late and what his responsibilities might actually be. But I really liked him like, talking with Peter.
Oh yeah, that was nice
for a minute.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. There's two things I love about it. Inclusions, I should say. Adrian Toomes working for Orcus is a great idea,
right?
And a brilliant execution. I love it.
What did you think of the costume? It looks like
it looks great.
It looks like it's got some
phalanx tech.
Yeah,
like it's 10 lives, 10 deaths, like Wolverine phalanx tech.
Yeah,
I love that.
Okay.
Fantastic marriage of those two ideas.
Yeah.
And the Silver Sable reveal at the end of that is also great. There's a part towards the end where it gets very Orcus heavy, and I think that's because virtually no X book is interested in covering this new status quo from the Marvel Universe. You can see that it is not present in literally every book except for X-Men books. And that's frustrating because it would be an interesting status quo. It'd be an interesting time period. You hear about how Tom Brevoort's going to take over the X-Men titles and how they're going to feel more integrated than ever before. And they would if a stronger editor-in-chief would have implemented it already. The Marvel Universe has arguably never felt more cohesive than it did in like the mid 90s and the Bendis era.
Right.
And it's like, that's a shame because this whole like, Empire State University and every organization is infiltrated in some way, is corrupted by Orcus. And we're going to see that fall eventually. But like, what if Orcus bought the Daily Bugle?
Right.
But I want to see it in the Captain America book. I want to see it in like the Spider-Man books. I want to see it in Daredevil.
Yes.
I'm only seeing it in X-Men, and that's a failure of the editorial.
No, I get that entirely. What did you think of that? Like, because obviously, it's an X book, so you're gonna have like a info page, or not even an info page, but just a page that's not the comic for a second. What did you think of that? I loved that whole thing.
Yeah, I loved it too. No, I thought it was really smart.
I really loved them talking about how many Spider characters there were.
Yep.
And that, like, I appreciate that too, because it makes we the reader know that a lot of the Marvel universe is aware of that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, sure, there could just be a random one.
Yeah.
And like, you know what? People may not put together that it's Nightcrawler
at
all.
I mean, like, I expect them to immediately. I don't want them to. That's the thing, is that they're already on the case.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's live in this. Let's enjoy it for some time. Like, I want Uncanny Spider-Man to be another Spider-Man book, but not like Miles or Peter. Like, I want it to be the Mutant Spider-Man book.
Yeah.
And it could be, keep going.
Right.
But live in it. Don't be so worried about, like, don't cut to the chase already.
Right.
We're only on the first issue,
I
for
do
God's
feel
sake.
like we're going
to go full X-Men with it.
And I think we're going Magic.
That'd be fine with me.
Like, I think that's
his sword and everything.
Well, yeah, no, I meant like because of his relationship with mom, and like, you know what I mean, like his surrogate, whatever, you know what I mean, like there's magic. I feel like that might be where we're going with this. We'll see. But I liked it. I really liked like Sai's voice for everybody.
Yeah, Sai gets it.
Like Peter, I wasn't sure at first. I was like, do I like this?
Yeah, I mean,
then like he had me.
Yeah,
he definitely had me when he was like, you don't have to prove yourself to me.
Right.
And I was like, cool, okay, Peter gets it.
Yeah, Peter would get it.
Yeah.
Peter stumbles, and I appreciate that Sai puts that in there.
So
yeah, recommended. I like it.
Yeah.
Bryce Harriet says, hi, you've been my gateway to so much. Hi, Bryce. Thank you very much. I love fantasy with hard magic systems, but I find it hard to find in comics. Recommendations from Tiffany. Well, there's a new book from IDW that you're enjoying. That's
but no, but
Wilson.
that's not
a hard magic fantasy
system. So I was gonna say a hard magic system. Yeah, it's a little harder. I completely understand that. Not quite the same thing, but might like satisfy that itch. If you haven't checked out Die, I would check that out.
Yeah.
It might give you that same sort of satisfaction. of a hard magic system with the rules of the world that is crafted within Die. You know,
Right.
it's a fantasy Jumanji, dark though, and has a lot of literary references to it. So if you haven't checked that out, I would go that route.
Fair.
Thank you.
Girk Pecta, sorry, off topic, but did you hear about the Unity controversy? I'm glad indie developers are moving on to UE because the only thing holding them back was the price. No, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
I think I do know what this is, but I don't want to say it because I'm not 100%, so I don't want to report on anything. So I believe I did. And if so, that's just nuts. Like if I think it is what it is, and I can't remember if I'm thinking of the right thing. It's sad that I think they were going to try to charge money to people who developed games on their system.
Oh,
I think they wanted to make more. I thought I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be thinking of something else entirely. I haven't. Anyway,
all right.
I'll look it up while you're reading
Christopher
things.
7. Thank you very much for my.
See if I'm right.
By the way, thank you for your support. Thanks for the previous answers. Do we think the whole Titans repaling the JL will pay out eventually? So far, it's a very self-contained story. They don't really deal with the outside world much, so kind of disappointing. I wanted to see Nightwing leading the league. Nightwing's not going to lead the league. He's going to lead the Titans as long as Tom Taylor's working there. We will see them butt heads probably in World's Finest and in Titans, but I assume that when the Justice League returns, which of course they will, because DC released that like teaser for the Dawn of DC, and in it they announced the Justice League book, which they didn't mean to, and they erased it afterwards. But when it comes back, I don't think you're gonna see Justice League versus the Titans. If they do, I think that's a terrible idea, and they are betraying their bankruptcy of ideas. But I don't expect that to happen.
So I found an article.
Okay.
And I was thinking of the right thing. I just didn't explain it even remotely correctly. But I was pretty close. Right? But like it basically they were going to institute like this whole fee system, and it was really going to screw over indie developers more than anyone else, right? Because
great idea. You got to hurt the working man.
That's where you got to get them, right? That's where you got to hurt them, right?
It's actually a great quote I just read or heard recently.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that doesn't matter. You keep going.
Right. So, but it like inevitably, like the rest of the news is that like they're backing down. So,
good. Yeah. But
like,
but now you know that they would.
I'm not gonna go deep into this article, but like they're actually doing it.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. They always will. They will take from you until public opinion makes them do it, but quieter.
Right. I mean, this is kind of a little bit like, you know, a couple companies have tried this. They test the water with something and they back off.
Yep.
We might see it again later on. I think they're altering what they're doing a bit. So yeah,
good.
But essentially, like it was targeted in all the wrong places.
Right.
So
shocking.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hey, speaking of good news about that, the WGA is tentatively penning a deal with studios as we speak. And so the strike, fingers crossed, should be over soon, or is over, in fact. So great news. Hopefully we'll talk. If you care about that, I'm going to do a podcast about it in the next couple of days to weeks.
That's excellent.
Talking to an expert about it. We'll talk more about that. But overall, just saying, yay. We can get back to making content. Of course, the actors haven't gotten their deal yet, but I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Also, I just want to throw it out there. I forgot Wolverine came out this week and I didn't read it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Wow. Like 100%. I just completely forgot about it. I'm like,
there were a lot of books this week. I don't blame you. Yeah. I read Amazing Spider-Man against my better judgment from Zeb Wells and Patrick Gleason. I think it has everything to do with the fact that like Patrick Gleason is just like he jumped ship to Marvel at the worst possible time. He's so great, and he's done some of the best covers of his career. Right, this is a John Romita Jr. cover, by the way. But you know, he's doing great work, and he's doing it on the worst era for Spider-Man in the last couple of years, which is so funny to say because like I don't think there's been a good era for Spider-Man in 20 years. But yeah, this issue was fine. It's very meta. Spider-Man, of course, was mystically stabbed with the sins of Norman Osborn
that
were magically blasted out of Norman Osborn with a magical shotgun.
Which
it's
now makes
Spider-Man.
him a goblin because
Which makes
apparently
Spider-Man a goblin.
It's the sins
The
that make you the
sins.
goblin, not
But they
a
don't make
formula.
Ashley Kafka a goblin because she's still a goblin. So the sins that should have gone into her, or the sins that came out of her and went into him, didn't ungoblin
So
her.
like I really can't be mad at that though, because like I have like met away lots of magical things. So like we are dealing with a thing that is magically based. So I really can't.
Right, but it's a Spider-Man book.
But like, hey, listen, he does lots of stuff that's related to magic.
He sure does.
sometimes.
He sure does. But yeah, but it's a funny meta book. Peter is insane now. He's goblin. He is Norman Osborn crazy.
You
so
just got goblin.
He's got goblin. So
Sorry.
he is petty and angry and bitter and is looking to amuse himself. So he's like, well, the first thing I did was
Has he tried TikTok?
Yeah, right? He'd do very well there. But he buried the Kraven clone alive and left him a gun. The gun that Kraven killed himself with. And was like, here you go. Good luck, dipshit. Of course, this Kraven doesn't even remember doing that because the clone / son of Kraven, so he didn't even get his revenge. But whatever, who cares? It's about making me feel better. It's not about...
Admittedly, I do like that concept. It's
right?
just not executed well.
No, it's terrible. But that happened. And then now he's like, all right. In the meantime, Norman has gone to Paul and Mary Jane's apartment. And he's like, you guys need to leave. So they leave. And then Peter goes to Norman. And he's like, I am going to kill Paul. Because he cucked me. I'm going to throw him off the Brooklyn Bridge. And see if Mary Jane's stupid new powers can save him. And when they don't, I'm going to laugh my ass off.
That's not really... No.
And I'm like, so you just went to the internet and just pulled ideas from what people have been criticizing this run for and just making Spider-Man say those?
Wait. Okay, well, all right, yeah. But like, that doesn't really track.
With Norman Osborn?
Well, no.
Sure
it
does,
no.
because Norman Osborn had sex with Gwen Stacy.
No. I mean, like, okay, so Peter like goes out of his way to try to do something very like on brand with Kraven. Like, here's the like, you know what I mean? Like, cool, whatever. And then he just mixes metaphors when it comes to...
Well, when I just want to because me getting even with a dude who took my girlfriend away from me is kind of new experience for me. So I'm just gonna roll with it.
Okay.
It's funny because like we hadn't had Paul or Mary Jane for a while, like for an arc or half an arc.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like we were just kind of enjoying not dealing with that, but we gotta do it right now. Like, let's do it again. Let's remind you in a way that also like makes you angry again. Just like, man, the art's great. It's really good stuff. Patrick Gleason is doing this really like awesome like depiction of Spider-Man. He's obviously wearing the black suit because that's what he does when he's like bad or angry.
I feel like there's like a way to do this. Like, I don't think you should have done this, but there's a way to do this goblin thing where it's just like, obviously like Peter has like deep-seated need for responsibility and what have you. Like, there could have been at least a warring part of him, like just something. It's like almost like the black suit showing up, where it's just like he like sometimes he's fine, and then he's like, what have I done?
I have an idea that just immediately blows this off, like where it's like he goes to Dylan and beats the living hell out of him and just forces the suit back onto himself. And that's where the black costume comes from, because Dylan's Venom, kind of.
Oh,
so he beats Eddie's kid and then just takes his suit and he's like, all right, we're merged again.
I don't know if the suit would just let that
I think the suit would be like, what's happening? Like, it would be kind of cool and weird and creepy, and I don't like it, but like if you're already trying to be like,
might as well get the Carnage suit.
Right, dude, there you go. But then you can bring back Spider Carnage, because like everybody likes that character for some reason. It's terrible. Moving on.
Cool.
But you know it isn't terrible.
Wait, which one do you want to do?
Predator versus Wolverine.
Okay, see, I did read a Wolverine book, and that's probably why I didn't read the other Wolverine book, because I was like, I knew I had a checklist in my head. It was like, Wolverine.
So a couple things. For one thing, this is like about time. And if you're gonna do one first, makes sense to me.
This is the one.
All good ideas. Predator versus Wolverine, great idea. When you get the Predator license, making it your awful 20th Century Comics imprint fine, because then you could do anything you want, right? Presumably, because you're trying to get away from the Marvel brand so you can, like, I don't know, presumably do harder edge stuff, right? That's my expectations, my assumption.
Right.
Nothing.
I assume it's not that. I assume there's something illegal where they have to. They're like, you own us, but you still got to put this on there.
That
because
sucks.
Whatever.
That sucks on toast. And then being like, and we're gonna get Marco Cicchetto. It's like, oh, what a great idea. All on paper, this is a brilliant idea.
Right.
Here's where they fuck up.
Okay.
Almost in every respect. For one thing, I don't like this cover.
It's not the best.
It's a page.
It is definitely.
It's not a cover.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, like,
for me, it's not the debut cover.
Listen, that you take the words off, I still know what I'm reading.
True, but it doesn't. It doesn't do it for me.
This is very, like, I've heard, like, theories that it's like, with, like, graphic design where it's like you show a picture of an apple,
right?
Or you use the word apple, but don't do
both. But, yeah,
like, sometimes you do, but, like, I'm like, this is the example where it's like
with Predator versus Wolverine, you could do both. It is gratuitous. It is a cash grab. It is supposed to be inherently creatively bankrupt. Yeah, I'm here for a Predator crossover. Okay, it better do all the things that I know they're going to do already. Just like a Predator show is, like, every pitch you've ever seen online for a Predator movie or show is Predator fighting a samurai. It's the first idea. It's a shark lawyer. It's the most obvious, bone dry concept you can think of. And I'll watch it twice.
Okay.
Pay you to make it.
Sure.
Predator versus Wolverine, putting Predator and Wolverine fighting each other on the cover, no problem. That being said, when you say you got Marco Cicchetto to do a cover for this, I'd expect better. That's number one. And of course, number two, the 20th Century Studios logo, terrible. Like, first of all, I don't like it. Secondly, I hate the little nonsense they got on the top there, the little garbage at the top. They do that with all the 20th Century comics they've made, Alien and Predator. They put this little graphic crap on there. Get that crap out of here. It's terrible. And then I saw Greg Land's name on it, and I was like, oh, you don't even care. Like, you don't even care to such a degree that you put your worst artist.
They don't think that. I don't think that they think that.
I know that demonstrates for me a staggering lack of awareness. Like, even optically speaking, it would be like if you hired a, like, artist or writer who is not, like, welcome in the industry anymore to do it. Just, it shows a fundamental lack of understanding and awareness of your brand.
Yeah.
Where they're like, let's get Greg Land, notorious tracer and, like, just all around hack, to do the interiors for this book. Now, he doesn't do all the interiors forgivably.
Oh, okay.
But, like, just when you say it should have been shot down in the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get Greg Land to do it. No, we're not. We're just not going to do that. Let me stop you right there. Like, we're Marvel Comics. I'm sorry, we're 20th Century Studios.
Well, the problem is that, like, if he gets the work done, that's what matters at the end of the day.
That's exactly what it is.
It turns out that is a big thing. Like,
it is the most important thing.
It is, and it isn't. It depends. If you're big enough,
right,
they'll wait forever.
Yeah, they'll ruin their bottom line. I'm talking about DC and Doomsday Clock, to get that book out.
Sure,
they'll be like, oh, yeah, it will literally pave the way for our new initiative, but you can be 2 years late.
Right. Well, I was thinking, like,
by the way,
Frank Miller too.
Yeah,
like, they will wait.
That being said, those books look great, and no one cares. The thing is, I don't want to interrupt you, but I must say, no one remembers anything being delayed ever.
Sure, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but if you're big enough, they won't care. But if you're not, and it's like a small percentage that they'll wait for. But if you're not, it's just, did you do the work? Cool.
Is it in? Do I have to worry about it? That's really what it is. Just,
is it good enough?
Did you? I hate that so many jobs, in particular the one we're talking about now, which is creative arts, are motivated by how much of my job do I have to do? And this extends to the artist, but also to the editorial team. That's like, how do I have to be an editor? Do I have to wrangle my artist? Do I have to make sure that everything gets in on time? Do I have to trust them?
I think it's just there's too much to do.
There's just too much to do. It's too many books. But Predator vs. Wolverine. We got Greg Land on art.
Yeah.
Bite me hard.
Well, it's not, but it's not just Greg Land.
Like here, the reason why they don't believe in it.
Are there two artists?
Ken Lashley also does the art.
Okay, so why don't you lead with that one instead? It feels better.
Ken Lashley is doing some great work.
Okay.
Looks good. And I enjoy it. Wouldn't be my first choice, but I do like Lashley's art. And I think that Lashley's like, oh my God, I'm doing Perfect Woman. It's going to look dope. And it does. It looks exactly what I want. And it sets the tone. And that's what betrays the Greg Land of it all. Greg Land is there to get the book out on time. Bite me. But who did the cover? But whose name is first? But who opens the book? Not Greg Land.
That's good.
Yeah, but like that shit, you know what I mean? That's like saying, oh, come to Thanksgiving. We're going to have stuffing. We're going to have cranberry sauce. We're going to have live music. We're going to have baked potatoes. And what are you having for, what's the main course? Oh, tofu. But anyway, we're going to have all these other things.
Did you say live music?
Yeah, why not? Just zhuzh it up. It's a hell of a Thanksgiving. But the turkey will be not, but the turkey won't be there. It's going to be tofu.
But that leaves more room for the other stuff.
No, because this is primarily Greg Land doing the art. I wanted to address the Greg Land of it all because it is a middle finger. It's a slap in the face. It's a kick in the nuts. It is deliberate. At this point, if you put Greg Land on a book,
it's deliberate for you.
If you put Greg Land on a book, you are saying F you.
I think for you, but I think there's some people out there who just don't care. They're just happy to have it.
I'm outraged by that implication.
I'm just saying.
So Ken Lashley does an amazing job. I love the work being done. And there is and the story written by Benjamin Percy of all people. It's like, yeah, Ben Percy doing a friggin' again. It's like, yes.
She's like the steward of
the current iteration of Wolverine.
If you're doing something with Wolverine, you better check with Ben Percy first.
And by the way, I don't care. But I do like it. I think Ben Percy does a nice job.
You know what he could have done instead?
What's that?
Since he's also like right now running this character too, it didn't have to be Wolverine versus Predator. It could have been Ghost Rider versus Predator.
Well, that's the thing is, and this is why I want you to buy the book anyway. Is because I want more of this. I want Predator versus, and I don't want Predator versus the Marvel Universe. I don't want Predator versus the Avengers. Where Hawkeye's the secret protagonist. If you wanted to do Predator versus Hawkeye, make a Predator versus Hawkeye. Put Greg Land on it. But like, make Predator versus Punisher.
Is there a third?
There is a third artist. That's Team X. Andre DeVito also does work on this. Okay. But
that's like it's 1/3 of the art team.
But the bulk of the book is Greg Land. But Predator versus Punisher, Predator versus Blade, Predator versus Ghost Rider, Predator versus SpiderMan. Like, you could do any of these. You could do one.
Predator versus Blade.
Predator versus Blade would be freaking dope. Are you kidding me? Predator being inundated, Predator landing and like he shows up in this like den of like it's just the opening of Play the movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like a club and he's chasing this one guy. Like,
I love that because like Blade's like there's a new vampire on the scene and it's like this is not a vampire, honey.
I mean, you open it with like the vampires get him. Like the vampires eat the Predator.
No.
And then the next Predator shows up who's like, what's going on here?
No, I don't want to. No, vampire. No.
I don't want a vampire Predator. No, they eat him.
No. They wouldn't.
Or we indicate that they try and like maybe the Predator's blood is toxic to vampires. I'm just spitballing here. But the story is cool. The story is fun. The story works. It's exactly what you want. It's exactly what you want. You open it with it's like Wolverine now fighting the Predator now, and he's like, I've been fighting this thing for decades,
which is cool.
And then you go back, and you find he's been fighting him since like 1900, and it's like, yes, that's exactly what you do. It's exactly what you do. No notes, nailed it. And the story that is depicted, unfortunately, through Greg Land's art is fine. Doesn't blow the doors off. It isn't the first issue of Batman Predator, which just completely nails it. It is a perfect distillation of both franchises in one comic book. It's unbelievable how perfect that book is. This is fun and a welcome surprise in terms of its like execution, in terms of the simplicity. I'm amazed that like Orcus isn't in it. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, this is Ben Percy just writing a story anytime.
thank you. You should have done it with the effing Ghost Rider crossover.
Friggin', well, yeah, but like,
But like,
listen,
look at this info page, and that shows me that someone gives a shit. It's exactly what I want to see. I opened this book for the first time and I was like, yes. Yes. Just graphically speaking, I'm like, yes. It's gorgeous. It's got amazing color, gives you all the info, feels widescreen, feels impressive, feels like a big deal. For me, this is exactly what I want from a Predator versus Wolverine book. It's like, yes. And it's just lettering. Then you just like, oh. And you just have to pretend like you're not looking at it.
I'll be honest, this art did not offend me.
It's not bad.
This did not offend me
well,
at all.
There aren't a lot of women in it, which helps.
Wow, that does help. But I'm just saying, like, this didn't offend me. This
No.
is like, whatever.
My issue is really overall, the Wolverine looks like not Wolverine. Like, he looks like a little boy. But like, my issue is the Predator.
He's supposed to be young, right?
Lance Predator. Lance Predator, he's really thin, and it's just he's weird looking. It's inconsistent, and it's just like whatever. It's just not great.
The Predator looks like the Predator, though.
He looks technically on model. That's correct. And yet, I've seen better Predators. A lot, you know. Dark Horse used to regularly publish them.
Right. Where
people were working their asses off to draw a Predator you'd never seen before.
You know, I gotta tell you, this back in time, like, Marvel Predator book here really ruins my pitch.
Which one? Oh, your Ghost Rider one?
No, I was like, how come they didn't do Predator versus Cap? And like, Cap's talking about when he was in like during World War II.
You can still do that.
He's like one night.
Yeah, you can still do that.
Like, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah,
I assumed it was Hydra.
Right, I'm so on board for that.
And he's like, and I defeated it.
Yeah. No, Predator versus, I mean, especially because with the 20th Century logo, the implication could be that they're out of continuity. Like, it is in continuity, but they could not be. Like, you could have the like Howling Commandos be slaughtered by the Predator and Cap's the last one.
Yeah.
Like, that would work great. Predators hate the cold.
Oh, well, yeah. But that's what makes this one so hardcore.
Yeah, but like, why did the Predator come here?
To find that other one.
Right, that's right. The other Predators got killed.
But I don't know why that Predator came here. Unless maybe it was
I think
warmer.
It's because they keep dying.
It's probably warmer, and he was just like, okay, I got to find this one. Cool. Yeah, no, that's the reason.
Yeah,
I would say.
So it's cool. Look, I know I'm not even preaching to the choir because like there are fewer Predator fans now than there ever were, and
that's not true. People just saw Prey.
Yeah, that's true. But like, yeah, that's true. Prey's great, and gonna be on Blu-ray soon. Buy it, please. Save physical media and also make another one.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't even want Prey 2. Just want another Predator movie.
Yeah. No, and by the way, I enjoyed Predator vs. Wolverine. Yeah,
it's good.
He's a perfect character for an entry into this because it's like also you're getting people just want to watch, like or want to read Wolverine.
Yeah.
So why not?
Right? No, I think it's great. I enjoyed it very much. It's just, but I wanted to get that stuff out because I'm like, it's not
everything you wanted it to be, but
you can't piss in my face and call it rain. Like, you can't tell me like, I'm giving you what you want, you idiot. It's like selling me a car at a reasonable price with 4 flat tires. You're doing it on purpose.
Listen, in this market, if they give me a good deal, I'll take that.
Right, yeah, and that's how shitty things are. That's how bad it is. We shouldn't be like, I'll take it because I have to, because it's so bad. Comparatively.
Well, sometimes
it's like, it's not like the reason we remember things is so we can learn from them. It's why we have long-term memory. You can't be like, oh, it's never been like that, or I can't believe you're being so unreasonable. It's like watching the new season of Futurama, and it's just like, you shouldn't have done that. They're all old now. It's weird. Anyway. Finally, Wonder Woman #1 from Tom King and Daniel Sampere. We talked about this a little bit, because the huge new book, in continuity, ongoing series. Wendy's getting a reboot, refresh. Hot new artist or hot late new artist is on the book. Tom King, odd choice. but all thanks to Supergirl,
Right, of course.
of course. Yeah, they were just like, "Hey, Tom, what do you got?" And if you want to know more, I think Tom talks about it on our podcast. But yeah, what'd you think of Wonder Woman?
It was good.
Right, it's good. It didn't blow my mind.
Okay, no, see, all right. This was good. I literally read this just before we went on the show, so I'm still processing this book. No, this was good. And
There's lots to like.
yes, it the reason I say it's good was because partway through reading it, I became enraged and wanted to stop reading it.
Yes.
And that's not because I was like, this sucks.
Because
I'm
Tom
like,
King's a
whatever.
hack. Like,
no,
no.
it's just because of things that were happening in the book. And I was like, I need to finish reading this because we have to do the show.
Yeah.
But I want to stop reading this
Right.
now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so like to me, I'm like, that's great job. 10 out
Yeah,
of 10.
good sign.
You did what you wanted to do, 100%. It's a good book. You know, it has ties to things that are current, you know, as we've seen oftentimes in with art just in general. It reflects the state of the world or
Yes.
of memories, feelings, emotions, what have you. So great start. You know, it's obviously it's Tom King, so you know we're either going to deal with trauma or whatever, but like we're getting it you know, a bit of a mystery, you know, a lot of like DC government stuff, which fits for her history. This is like it really does work out at the end.
Yeah.
But the end reveal felt like very comic booky. Like everything leading up to it was less like trope comic book, and then right at the end it was like wham.
Yeah,
but I couldn't tell if that was like an editor's note. It's like, hey,
well, I mean,
give them a little more.
Well, the reveal of like the new villain, this new Wonder Woman villain, is also like, I think 15 years ago, King would never have thought to do this. Right. I think it's funny. It's funny. You look at it, you're like, what? Okay.
Right.
There's a king of America, and his name's the Sovereign. He has a lasso of lies on a throne of bullshit. You know, it's like, okay. I understand.
Right.
Things are ridiculous right now.
And like that is a little bit like we'll see where this character goes, but like that level of like what? Like chewing the scenery a little bit is like very evocative of like original older comic book.
Yeah, which
like,
of course
villains.
he's very inspired by.
And I feel like that's a nice little nod to her longevity for the history of the character. So I was like, well, we'll see where this goes. I think there's a lot of good stuff in there, especially just in terms of honoring Wonder Woman as a long-standing character within the DC pantheon. We're touching on a lot of things in this first issue. Some of it does rely on you just kind of knowing a little bit about her, but they do give you a lot, I think, in this. We're setting a lot of world building up, and like I said, a lot of it is going to reflect on the state of our own world, to some degree, so just be prepared for that.
I mean, and the idea of like the Amazon, like this is actually a little bit, I prefer this to the trope of like, oh no, the Amazonians are bad. You know, like, oh no, the Amazonians are invading, Amazons are attacking.
Right. I said, listen, if you're gonna have the Amazons do something, apparently that's the thing.
Yeah. Well, they're a militant island of like warrior people. They're
also like, you know,
artists and philosophers. But introduction.
It's not like Amazons have an art gallery opening.
No, Amazon's influence. But there is one rogue Amazonian who has caused enough of an uproar that they are now like public enemy number one, and they're being exported, they're being deported, and it's causing it's ripping through the DC universe, and everyone who's participating can, like, I think Josh is doing it in the Superman.
Nice.
Chip's doing it in Batman. Like, you're gonna see this implication.
It's like something's happening.
Something happening in the DC universe right now.
And then and it's not an event. It's just this is the status quo. It's almost like if there was a malevolent organization that was worldwide and in space, and they were specifically targeting, let's say, I don't know, mutants, for example.
Oh yeah. That might be like there might be
that it would show up in other books.
Yeah, you might see that.
Some of them admittedly are, but they have to have a little flag on it.
But they have a flag on it, and they're all part of the same. They all meet at the same place.
Yeah.
There's, say, the creative team. But yeah, you know, I'm not in love with this book.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I like it.
I very much like this book.
Yeah, no, I didn't connect with it the same way that I did with like Supergirl, Human Target, or Gotham City or stuff like that. I was just like,
Okay.
but I did love it. I was like,
yeah.
this is good. It's a good book, and the art's fantastic. I don't like King's voice because I know he's thinking about Gal Gadot, so he's giving her inflection, and I don't like her. Like, I think she's great, but I'm like ready for not that accent anymore for Wonder Woman. Like, that's her accent. That's not Wonder Woman's accent. You know what I mean? So that for me, that's like, no, okay. Like, I don't know. That's not what Wonder Woman sounds like in any of the books that I like Wonder Woman to be in terms of like Justice League or Superman books.
You know what's funny is I couldn't help but think of it. I didn't even make that connection.
I only know because he said it in the show.
Oh,
he told me in the show.
Because I was thinking about it like in terms of like his voice for her was a little like Starfire from Teen Titans, like the cartoon.
Yeah.
Like just
yeah, that's fair. I do like Starfire from the Teen Titans.
I don't know why though.
I do like that. That's Starfire.
Yeah. Okay. So
and that is her influence is definitely that. Like, people don't think of Starfire any other way anymore.
Right.
But yeah, I dig it. I think it's good. And I've read the second issue, and I can tell you it. You know, I caution people that this is a lot of world building. It's a lot of setup. Second one, we get really into the story, into developing who Diana is, how she feels, what's going on.
Okay.
You know, we don't see the Sovereign again, I don't think.
I'm excited.
But Sarge Steel, of course, is our main antagonist. But yeah, I dug it, and I think Sam Pear did a great job. The art's great.
Yeah, it's excellent.
All cylinders, really good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Really nice shot composition.
I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like Sergeant Steel.
Yeah.
Who I keep wanting to call Sergeant Slaughter.
Naturally.
Is like he was like I feel like King was like, I could have done a book on him. I'm not going to because they're never gonna let me.
Yes.
I'm gonna do this.
I will quietly do a Sarge Steel book in here.
It's a secret bad guy book. Here we go.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I dug it too. Recommend it.
Yeah.
Going into the super chats really quick.
Let's do it.
Lenny Laserdiscs, ComicPop Woo. Here's some coin. Have a nice week. You too, Lenny. Thank you very much.
Too. Have a great week.
J.R. Gomez. I love the new Birds of Prey. It's this and Spirit World. I'm convinced some is trying to keep Cassandra Cain's fan base alive. It's a great book. I love the first issue. Cat Lawyer, making any character sin/virtue a thing to be extracted, contained, and transferred would be fun in an indie comic. Anyways, I'm really excited for all the Godzilla content.
Oh, that's right. There was that backup in this book. I think it was in a bunch of the DC books for Godzilla.
Yes, the Justice League.
Yeah, that was just, it was not the tone, I like color palette wise or like.
I didn't read it.
Oh, I just checked it out really quickly. I was like, what is this? Is this actually how that's going to go? Is this result? I don't know.
I just saw the teaser back when we were at San Diego. I hope it's great.
Me too. I want it to be good.
Kieran Weisenberg, Sup Comic Pop. Monday is best day. Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
That's nice. Yeah, thank you.
I like that.
I look forward to Mondays because of the show.
Oh.
Girk Pectus, I know Predator learning magic is ridiculous, but Mortal Kombat made it look surprisingly terrifying. I love to see it in Ghost Rider versus Predator. Yeah, Predator unexpectedly getting possessed by a spirit, like a Zarathos.
I would like in that comic, if they were to do Ghost Rider versus Predator, I would like Mephisto to show up and try to make a deal with the Predator.
And the Predator just like cuts his head off.
Yeah.
Predator's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't understand you, Just
says one thing.
Right.
Whatever he's picked up.
Yes. Whatever hilarious thing he picked up. And to say that, cut Mephisto's head off. Mephisto's like, oh, okay.
Yes.
The strong silent type then, no? Ali Elziadi, hello. Hope you're both well. I'm going to New York Comic Con for the first time. Any tips for going to a con that big? Hydrate. Bring your own food.
And if you don't if you work at at an office job, in like the weeks are coming up to it, try to walk around more. Like try to set some time out every day to walk around because it's going to be a lot of walking. And it's going to be a lot of walking that may not be at your natural pace depending on
that's true
what day you go. And like taking shorter steps can really like make your body more tired.
Yeah.
But just practice that. Make sure you get a good con bag, whether that be a backpack that you're happy with or what have you. And then and
break in some shoes beforehand. Don't break in new shoes when you're there.
And just make sure you've got like the like I said, like bring water, bring a refillable water bottle. There are stations all over the con to get more water.
Yep.
Bring snacks so that you're not like starving and therefore like end up spending more than you need to for food.
Exactly.
And you know, do what you can to do like a cursory glance at the floor and then decide what you want to get
what
to
your priorities
first.
are.
Yeah, like, you know, if you know you want to get stuff signed, try to find out what the schedule is ahead of time.
Yeah. Don't overload your books. To get a few books, like, you know, for your creators. Get one of those fun little plastic boxes that you keep your comic books in from, like, I think BCW makes them. But it's a little plastic box. You can keep, like, I think upwards of 8 to 10 single issues in there. They'll also hold hardcovers and soft covers, so you can do that. Glassman. I've just realized the Marvel and DC comics feel the closest to American mythology you can get. They may not be real, but we aspire to them.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I believe they are. I think that people look at that now with really like with cynicism, but I do genuinely believe the comic books / like Marvel and DC have created like a new like Greco-Roman pantheon of gods. So yeah, let's recommend some comics that come out this week that we think you should check out. I didn't even know that Power Girl was getting a new book, but Leah Williams and Eduardo Pennisca are doing a new Power Girl book. I'm going to read that and check that out at least once. Penguin #2, this is a great book.
I know you really like it.
I hate it, how good it is. And Ultimate Invasion #4, the end of the Ultimate Invasion, beginning of Ultimate Spider-Man. We'll see how that goes.
I read one of these and that was it.
It's not worth your time. And yeah. What about you, Tiffany?
I don't know yet because I didn't get a chance to look at the list.
I know.
So let me take a quick peek here. Flash #1 is coming out this week. This is gonna be the first Flash series I've ever read.
Yep.
It's written by Cy Spurrier with art by Mike Deodato Jr. I'm gonna at least try 1 or 2 issues of this. Let's see if I can jump into the world of the Flash. I very rarely I don't always, you know, say like, hey, go follow a writer. Like that's not me, but I'm willing to try it. Like I may not buy all of them,
right? But
I'm gonna at least check out what Cy Spurrier's voice is like for the Flash.
Yes,
a decidedly not British character.
That's right.
So that's where I'm going for here. Before you start recommending things to me, folks, this has nothing to do with the character. This has everything to do with because I like Cy Spurrier. I like the way that he writes dialogue, and I like the way that he often ties in like real world issues into his books. He just does it really naturally and flawlessly. I like his storytelling style, and so that's what I am here for. Yeah. I'm not, you know, looking for recommendations of the Flash right now. Sorry.
I also recommend you can keep going. Green Arrow #4. I liked the last few Green Arrows. I do need to catch up. I think on #3. And I have not read Immortal Thor #1 yet, so I can't recommend Immortal Thor 2. But I can recommend Blade. I read Blade 2. I like that a lot. So Blade 3 comes out this week, and that's worth checking out as well.
Very, very nice.
It's weird.
I'm gonna recommend Realm of X #2. This is the like magic and karma and Typhoid Mary book, written by Torun Grönbeck. So I'm definitely checking out that. Jean Grey #2. You can't stop me from reading this book. I can't wait for this. Louise Simonson writing this, Bernard Chang on art. I had an opportunity to tell Louise that I loved her book. She was passing by me at Baltimore Comic-Con, and I very covertly just was like, hey, you do an awesome job. This is so good. So she said she's hopeful that the second issue doesn't disappoint. I feel like there's no way. So, you know, just very, very excited for that book. Like the first issue was just such a strong entry. And like I said, like it was just, you know, sometimes writers who have written for periods of comics tend to have that same feeling. It's not all of them, but some of them do. It's just like, you know, that's like they're a 90s writer, they're an 80s writer, there's an early 2000s writer. Her book was just so flawlessly current feeling that I was like, it was almost like, what? So, you know, just really, really strong writing there. I feel like there should definitely be more stuff that I'm picking up this week.
Yeah, but that's enough for you.
But if
I mean,
not,
like it doesn't have
then,
to be.
It's always nice for me to like have an opportunity to maybe grab something new or to like catch up on something. So
that's very true.
Yeah, I'll check around when it comes out. So yeah,
cool.
And I can catch up on grab the actual Wolverine issue.
That's right.
That'll be good for me to do and not read the Wolverine Predator book, which is what I didn't.
You already did. Yeah, Hulkzilla. Thank you very much for your support. We do appreciate it.
You just closed a tab I was going to look at.
I know. I just realized that. I'm sorry.
I'll find it later. You're fine. You're fine. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I think we're all wrapped up here, folks.
Yes, I should mention, we're shooting back issues this Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. It's a book that I can't believe we never did, but it is also a prelude to a new initiative for back issues that is going to roll forward. It's not going to be every week, but we're going to start with a couple of redos, a couple of re-episodes, re-back issues, back-to-back issues, if you will, where maybe I didn't focus too much on one story, because I was just relying on it from memory. The show back issues has been going on for almost 10 years, and the show's evolved significantly.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
yep.
So we're gonna kind of break the ice by doing a book we've never done, but leading into a book that we've very much done. It's one of our more popular episodes of all time.
Ooh.
But I'm excited for it. But
I'm excited too.
Yeah, but it'll the one episode we did will be broken into 3 big ass episodes. That will not be back to back. So don't get too excited. Don't be like, hey, you did some crappy Avengers book about Ramona Renslayer. That's not what you were supposed to be doing before. It's like, yeah, look, we gotta mix things up a little bit. But yeah. Thank you all so much for supporting us. Thank you to our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. Thanks to the chatters for keeping the chat alive and chatting it up and being respectful and being cool. And of course, thank you for watching the show live and checking us out, and for catching the show after the fact. If you did catch us after the fact, if you want to support us more directly, go to patreon.com/ComicPop. Watch Tiffany on twitch.tv/ComicPop. Playing video games Tuesdays and Wednesdays normally. And all the descriptions, all the info for everything we do is in the description below. Click that and find links and everything. Obviously, Twitter is dying a slow and painful and public and pathetic death. I think, under the auspices of our betters. I think it's a grand conspiracy to de-democratize humanity. But as it's dying, we will find other methods of reaching out to you. But follow the community tab and other methods. All descriptions have everything you need. So check that out. We'll see you guys next time with an all-new episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.